Hello my friends, welcome in or welcome back. Thank you for supporting my channel and sharing your time and energy with me today. My name is Amanda and today we have your weekly guidance reading. There are 4 soul paths for you to choose from. So if you are ready to hop into your reading, you can do so now by using the timestamps in the description box or pinned comment section. And just a note, these are good for the following 7 days, or the upcoming 7 days, whenever you come across it. So it is timeless. However, it does have a 7-day expiry from the time you view it. And remember to take what messages resonates and are aligning and confirming for you, and leave the rest for someone else. So let me introduce you to the soul paths if you are not quite ready to choose. For Soul Path 1, we have the Angels and Ancestors Oracle with the Peach Moonstone. For Soul Path number 2, we have the Haida Box of Knowledge with the Smoky Quartz. For Soul Path number 3, we have the Sacred Traveler Oracle with the Pure Purite. And for Soul Path number 4, we have the Dream Ritual Oracle with the Mookite Jasper. So when you are ready, use your intuition to choose the soul path that is calling to you the most. Then click on the timestamp in the description box or pinned comments to skip to your reading, and we will see you over there. Hello Soul Path 1, welcome to your reading. So you chose the Peach Moonstone with the Angels and Ancestors Oracle. Before we get into that, we're going to get into your tarot and see what is in store for you, possibly what to expect or to focus on this week. Okay, so we have the Ace of Wands in reverse. So this is a card of having a seed of an idea but not ready to execute on it, not having the motivation, the energy, the did I say motivation? The energy, the drive, the will, the ambition to take this and run with it. I think you have an inspired idea here, but it's just not quite ready to be planted yet. I almost feel like something from the previous weeks or previous months are being wrapped up, or something needs to come to a close in order for this to be available to you. This is inspired action, essentially, so it's not having the energy to take inspired action. Let's get some advice on that. So 10 of Wands, yeah. Okay, we can see why. We can see why, and I will just show you the bottom of the deck. Okay, 2 of Pentacles in the reverse. And then we have the 10 of Wands in the upright. So this is the thing that needs to come to a close first in order for you to start something new. Start a new project, start on maybe a home renovation, or maybe starting to plan something really exciting like a vacation. There is something that you've been carrying for some time, so there is some kind of completion happening, and that is the thing that needs to be wrapped up in order to free your energy up for the new thing that you want to start, the new thing that you want to do. And with the bottom of the deck being the 2 of Pentacles in reverse, I get the sense that you have been doing, maybe even juggling multiple things, and you've been keeping up with it very well up until this point. However, it's now starting to become too much or a burden, which is why this new project, this new thing that you want to start, you either don't have the motivation or the energy for it, but you have an underlying desire and ambition to chase after it. Because I feel like you've been doing it for so long, it's time to let something go, some kind of responsibility go, because it's no longer sustainable in the way that you've done it. So either the project is coming to a natural completion, or you need to wrap this up for the sake of your own sanity and for the sake of restoring balance and being able to move on, start new things, move in new directions. I'm getting a bit of a tied down feeling. So to have that freedom to explore a little bit and get curious. So let's get some clarifiers now. What is this Ace of Wands? Actually, we'll see what comes out. Last week I got 1, but I'm feeling 2. So we'll see. Let's start with 1 and see where we end up here, Spirit. Forgot to knock on the door. Spirit, could we have 1 card? Yeah. Surround yourself with protective energy. So I almost get that is a bit of advice from Spirit about how to move beyond this, or move away from it, or reignite the passion, the spark or the passion. Again, there is a reignition that is begging to come through. It's almost like something weighed your energy down that you were once passionate about but are no longer. So you're working through that, and maybe that's something you need to release in order to chase some new passions and to spark an inspired idea and to be inspired again. So with the arrow, it not only gives me a feeling of direction, but it also makes me feel like you have to protect the things that are most important to you. Now, this 10 of Wands could be something completely out of your control and just something that you have to kind of pick up the slack with. But again, coming back to the 2 of Pentacles in reverse, it's no longer sustainable. So it's about reassessing your energy level, reassessing what kind of capacity you have to either help or to continue pushing forward with something, protecting and honoring that energy level without judgment, without pressure, without force of trying to do something. Because I think there may have been some sense of forcefulness in the 10 of Wands where you pushed and pushed and pushed because you felt like you had to or you should. Now that could be voluntary, that could be something that was pushed upon you. But with this arrow, it's like surround yourself with protective energy. That's like boundaries, having boundaries for the things that you desire, because maybe this is you taking on too many of other people's needs, wants, and desires and trying to help them, which is not a bad thing. But if you don't have the energetic resources to do that, then you have to pull back a little so that you can save some for yourself and for the things that you want to pursue. And again, that situation can range greatly, so take that if it resonates and if it fits and if it's available to you. So let's get 1 more for the 10 of Wands and let's see. Oh, wow. So interesting. We have another arrow. Broken arrow. Embrace the energy of peace. Wow, okay. So this to me feels like your North Star. Like a very direct direction. This is where I'm going. This is my focus. This is what I want. Whereas this 10 of Wands is paired with the broken arrow, which means that something here is breaking your spirit. It even gives me the feeling of scattered energy as well, where your attention is in multiple places. Something here is breaking your peace or the energy of the peace that you are trying to create. Hence the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. It's very challenging energy. So I think the focus needs to be on whether to wrap something up or to relieve some of the burdens and focus more on the things that you feel is the best direction for you at this time, or to simply shift gears temporarily, focusing on the things that you want to pursue. And with the broken arrow, you're being guided to know that the energies of light are entering to wash away all of the darkness, which is really interesting because there is light here shining upon that new wand. But the only light here is the light of her lantern, her own internal light, and it's very dim. So it's almost like coming into your light again, finding your light. And it's about trusting your intuition about where you feel you are at right now. If you can take time to retreat or step out of this situation to assess things that might be beneficial for you, But basically to find a safe place to explore the things that you want to start doing. And that could be a number of things. That could be an activity you want to pick up. That could be an art project. That could be a side hustle that you want to start. And removing yourself from whatever this burden is, whether that is temporary or permanently. So, Soul Path 1, this is what I have for you. I hope you found some clarity and guidance for your week ahead. With gratitude, I'm sending you my love, and we'll see you in your next reading. Hello, Soul Path 2, welcome to your reading. So you chose the Smoky Quartz with the Hide a Box of Knowledge. And before we get into that, we will get into your tarot now to take a look at your week ahead. What can Soul Path 2 expect for their week ahead? We have 2 cards. We have the 4 of Pentacles in the reverse. And we have the 5 of Wands in the upright. And the 10 of Wands in the reverse position. So I think there is a bit of a release on how you're going to approach the week in terms of method, in terms of how you spend or save your money. There could be a financial focus. You could be paying off bills. You could be paying off a debt. You could be finding some sort of stability in your 3-dimensional environment. I think there's going to be a bit of abundance happening in your week as well, whether that's you have a little more freedom in your week, maybe some time off from work, or maybe you're taking a vacation or something, taking a week off. But whatever money that you do spend this week is going to be well spent, I'm hearing. Any time that you spend doing nothing or doing something regarding pleasure is going to be well spent. The things you are going to do this week are going to be well spent, is what I'm hearing. And I don't know if this is a bit of a caution or a warning about potential conflict that could escalate into something more grand. But because we started the reading with the 4 of Pentacles in reverse, and we talked about bill payments and debt, I do get a sense that there's still some financial challenges, but because the 4 of Pentacles is in reverse and you have the 5 of Wands, I almost get that you're addressing the conflicts related to money and staying really vigilant in your financial situation and trying to do things diplomatically before we get to that point of escalation rather than getting to that heated argument stage. And then with the 10 of Wands in reverse, and again, I love that the 4 of Pentacles is in reverse is paired with the 10 of Wands in reverse, because to me that is just a release, a relief of burdens. And because again, we started out with the 4 of Pentacles, I feel like there's going to be a relief of financial burdens and even a lack of responsibility this week when it comes to the tasks and the routines and the to-dos on your list. So again, related to career or work, I do see maybe a vacation happening or a staycation happening, some kind of break where you don't have these responsibilities on your plate and you can just let go and surrender for a bit and spend your hard-earned money on things that give you pleasure this week, things that really relieve the tension. And that could be the vacation, or that could be paying off those bills and paying off some debt here. And if you are in talks with people about finances, just be mindful of being diplomatic in those situations so that it doesn't reach that escalation point. Now let's see what else Spirit has to share in the Oracle cards. Spirit, could we get a card for Soul Path 2 regarding their week ahead? What can they expect? I hear you're going to be making some very wise decisions this week. Loyalty and trust. So when I look at this card, I see the word mouse, loyalty and trust. And when I think of mouse, I think small. And so it's about those small actions that you can take and remaining loyal to that goal trusting yourself that you will get to those goals, and understanding that the small day-to-day activities have an impact and can shift in the long term. So even if you're slowly putting money towards a specific bill, know that in time, so long as you're going above and beyond the interest, will eventually get paid down. So it's those small actions that you take, rather than thinking it'll never get paid off, so I'm not going to bother, paying above and beyond the minimum. That's how they keep you trapped in paying them in perpetuity, is that as soon as you hold a debt, you're paying X amount of interest on that debt, which is essentially you paying them to have that debt. And I was in a very tricky financial situation in my 20s and 30s, which took me a really long time to get out of. And that's kind of what I did, is I needed a sole focus and being kind of loyal to that goal and putting small actions towards that financial goal of paying off that credit card. And all of my efforts, it went to the minimums on the smaller debts, but all of the bigger debts, they got all of my focus for every single penny that I had extra. I put onto those debts as much as I could. And eventually I ended up paying it off because I was no longer paying the minimums, or I was no longer paying just above the minimum. I was doing things in big sweeps and big chunks, but it was kind of a small effort because of how high the bill was. It felt small, but eventually those little small efforts paid off, and that focus and the loyalty to that goal really paid off. And also too, maybe leaning on people who you have loyalty and trust for. Focusing on spending more time with those people. And that could be appropriate, especially if we're talking about a vacation, or, having a free week to do what you like and not having work. You could end up, reconnecting with people who you've maybe lost touch with or don't get to spend as much time with, rather than taking a vacation. So exploring your options as well, and maybe keeping things small. I mean, we don't all have to go to, overseas or do big things when we have a week or two off. We can do small things that are meaningful, just as meaningful as well. So let's get one more card for the Five of Wands. And these aren't necessarily clarifiers, but they can simply just be further advice from Spirit, or they could be clarifying the message here. So, because the loyalty and trust is also standing out to me, I do feel like there is some connection to people in your life. Could be friends, family. I do feel like it's interpersonal week. And finances are looped in there somehow. So again, whether that's vacation or you're going to be spending some time with them. Okay, Spirit, one more card, please. Just one more. Strongest. Thank you. Okay, so we have greed here. Now, what I get with this, especially when we're talking about money, we're talking about people kind of having arguments about money. I get that there's somebody around you that might be wanting you to spend money on something because of their own greed. And maybe that's what the argument is about, is how they spend money in excess. Ooh, really interesting. Now it's, okay, it's starting to come together. And I think it's painting a really clear picture about you and somebody in your close circle of people. Could be a relationship. There could be some discussion or argument about money this week. And I think that there are two opposing opinions on the matter. Somebody wants to pay off a debt or a bill and put all of the additional money towards that so that they can have more freedom and get this, quote, monkey off the back. But there is a loyalty and trust to this person, which I feel is the reason why this is happening is because you wouldn't necessarily have this argument with your coworker. You're having this argument with somebody close to you, and somebody that you have a loyalty and trust to. You may end up feeling small in this particular argument because you are trying to do big things and they are trying to do big things financially. They're trying to, I get spend and savor here. So I get that you want to relieve this pressure, this financial pressure, this financial burden, and maybe the other person wants to spend money in ways that you don't agree with. So I think there's going to be a big focus on financial aspects this week, how to spend, how to save, where to focus the money, the extra money that you might get, and how to work that out. So again, coming back to that conflict message of trying to keep things diplomatic. Is there a compromise? Is there something else that could be sacrificed so that both people can get what they want? So, Soul Path 2, this is what I have for you. I hope you found some clarity and guidance today for your week ahead. And with gratitude, I'm sending you my love, and we'll see you in your next reading. Hello, my Soul Path 3. Welcome to your reading. So you chose the Pure Purite Stone with the Sacred Traveler Oracle. Before we dive into that, we're going to hop straight into the tarot and get some energy for the week. What to expect and what to focus on is going to be the first card out. And then we'll get some advice with the second card. And then look at clarifiers. So, Knight of Wands. This could be a very passionate week for you. I get a feeling of intimacy. We'll see what the clarifiers say and what the advice says, but it could be two things. It could be you're having a very intimate, passionate week with somebody in your life, or you are taking passionate, determined action towards a specific goal. Could be a project. It could be something that you're really excited about. I want to say school, but I think school is done soon, no? Maybe you're taking some kind of workshop or some kind of, school, not summer school, some kind of educational program, or maybe it's just for fun. You're picking up something for the summer, just for fun, or you're doing a creative project. Okay. We have another Wands energy. And the Three of Cups in reverse. So I definitely think that this week is going to be all about creativity. So I don't think that this is a relationship reading. I don't get any others. I mean, we do have Wands here. So that could be two people. We could have a very young, budding relationship here. And so you're going to be doing a lot of fun activities this week with this other person. I feel like you're both very similar in nature. This could be a week of a lot of fun with the two of you, which could potentially pull you away from your friend group. So we've got the Three of Cups in reverse on the bottom of the deck, and then we have the Page of Wands. It kind of came out sideways, so, but I'm going to leave it upright, and I can give you an interpretation of the sideways. It means that it's blocked, so you could want to do some things with this other person, and I feel like this relationship might be in its really young stage, so there's a lot of desire to spend a lot of time together. This person might not be available for one reason or another. They might be a little shy or intimidated, so take that as it resonates, but I feel like there's a focus on two different people here, chasing after some kind of singular goal or passion of theirs. Because of this focus, this intimate focus between the two people here, I feel like there is going to be maybe some disruption with friends or canceled plans with friends. Maybe some disagreements with friends because there's such a focus on this other person that maybe you've just met, and so you want to get to know them, you're excited about it, you want to take action. Or maybe you could just be having a lot of fun behind closed doors. That is another interpretation of the Knight of Wands. And so you're not doing things with friends this week because you are focused on this other person, getting to know them and spending time with them. Now, the other side of the coin on this is that going back to the personal project or the workshop that you might be taking on, I feel like you're open to, you really want to start I want to say following something new. I get hobby with this. So it's like you want to take up sewing, for example. And so you look at a local event board and you see a sewing group or you see a sewing workshop. And so you sign up, and that is the learner's energy. The knight is the driving force towards that goal, and the page is the open-mindedness to learn new things and to make mistakes and have that willingness to be creative without boundaries and not being afraid of making those mistakes, because you understand that making those mistakes is going to, well, not only is it fun, whatever it is that you're chasing, but making mistakes will help you get better and improve over time. So that could be the reason why the Three of Cups is in reverse as well, is that you've signed on to do this thing, and maybe all of your evenings or even your days are taken up by this workshop or this course or this event that you're doing that is really aligned to your passion. And you're really excited about it, and this may be new to you, but I really feel it's going to be a fun week for you because of that. But again, your friends might be disappointed because you won't have the time or the energy for them because you're so focused on this other thing. So let's get some oracle cards now. Spirit 2 oracle cards. We'll just get one at a time though, Spirit. Thank you. Okay, we have Journey by Moonlight, Believe in Magic. And this could be a very magical thing you're exploring, something that is, I do think that it's, I want to say night school. Definitely feel it's something creative, something expressive, something that really lights you up. It's almost like you're exploring a hobby and it's like you're moonlighting as this thing. And maybe your friends don't know, which is maybe why the Three of Cups is in reverse here. So you're moonlighting as a singer, or you're moonlighting as a tarot card reader. But during the day, you might have, another job. Maybe it's creative as well, but it's not in the same way. There's an expressiveness here. So I think you're a very expressive person. You're a very creative person. You're a very imaginative person. Very intuitive as well. So I think whatever this is, you're going to be exploring during the evening. And it's completely pulled your focus. And because we're talking about moonlight, we're talking about night again, going back to the original message of new relationship. Again, during the day, you're working, and by night, you're spending time with this new person and being intimate with them and having fun with them and getting to know them and dating them and whatever else. So there's this kind of this contrast of something happening in the day and you coming out to play at night. How fun. So let's get one more card for the Page of Wands. Grounding. Go deep and explore your roots. So because this is paired with the Page of Wands, I almost get the feeling that you do have to find your sense of ground this week as well. So while this may be really exciting, and whether it's a relationship or a project or a hobby or something new you're pursuing, I do think that you have to ground yourself in reality a bit. I get a significant energy of obsession, but in the best way possible. We just have to be careful of that, because that can, if that goes on too long, that obsession is present for too long, then it can really pull us away from our life that we've established. It can pull us away from our network of friends, our network of family, our routines that keep us grounded and rooted within ourselves. So I think that's just a little bit of further advice for you to clarify with the Page of Wands, is that yes, be open, be excited for this new thing that you're pursuing, and have an open mind. Don't worry about making mistakes and just have fun in the process. But don't forget to ground yourself in your own life. Ground yourself in your friendships still. Stay in touch. Don't completely ghost them. Same with your family and whoever else you might need to or want to connect with during this week. Don't let it be all about that thing. Stay grounded in who you are. Stay grounded in your life, your reality, and then have fun outside of that. So again, I get a day and night thing happening here, because during the day, she's very grounded, sitting under a tree, being very, there's a stillness here, there is a reflective energy, there is enjoying an activity on her own. And then by moonlight, there is all kinds of exciting magical things happening. So it's almost like you need to have that duality, and don't get so lost in the moonlight that you disappear in the darkness. Always come back to your ground and who you are and yourself and the things you love and enjoy. Don't forget those things, is what I'm hearing. Remember who you are. Don't get lost in somebody else. There's a lot of messages coming in right now. And like I said, I feel like it's okay to get lost in these things when we're just starting out in something and it's new and it's fresh and we want to explore. But there's a temperance energy happening here, especially with the day and the night and the grounding and the magic. So again, that duality of having that balance, maintaining that balance this week. So Soul Path 3, this is what I have for you. I hope you found some clarity and guidance for the week ahead. And with gratitude, I'm sending you my love, and we'll see you in your next reading. Hello, Soul Path 4. Welcome to your reading. So you chose the Mookaite Jasper with the Dream Rituals Oracle. And before we get into that, we're going to hop straight into the reading today and see what the week ahead has for you. Let's look at first card out, what to expect or what to focus on. For Soul Path 4, please, Spirit. Yes. Page of Cups in reverse. Okay. So you may be dealing with an immature person this week. You may feel a little bit emotionally vulnerable or insecure. Maybe there's a lot of focus on escapism, and also maybe a fear of sharing your dreams, desires, ideas, creative projects with others. Maybe you are afraid of failing. You're keeping if you have any plans to do anything, you are keeping it under wraps, so you're not sharing with anybody. You're keeping it close to your chest, and maybe that is due to fear or self-doubt. There could also be a creative block here, so you want to kind of start a new creative project or journey. Maybe you are an artist or somebody who is expressive in some way, whether that is visual or through song, and you know you want to do something new and fresh, but you just can't get started. So it's almost like, let's look at advice now, actually. So I think the focus this week is to break out of that. Now, that could be just doing it anyway, regardless of the fear and the self-doubt. However, if there is a reason for fear and self-doubt, then can that be addressed? So it's kind of getting to the root of that. Okay. Yeah, okay. So the advice is do the thing anyway. Feel the fear and do the thing anyway. Now, you don't have to share with the world. You don't even have to share with anybody right now. I think you're at the very beginning stages of whatever this is. So why don't you just do it and not have any expectations for sharing it? And get back into the playfulness and the joyfulness. Step out of the perfectionist energy. I feel you have everything within you. You have the idea, you have the creativity, you have kind of the emotional wherewithal, and all of the resources you have at your fingertips to make this thing a reality. It's just getting above and beyond your self-doubt and maybe your fear. I almost get that you're kind of thinking 100 steps ahead when you just have to start with one step. And that first step is, what do we want to create? Why we want to create it, and how can we have as much fun as possible with this without thinking about how to make this perfect, how to make this a masterpiece. I think we have to get back into that childlike, playful energy of just exploring for the sake of it and not thinking about who's going to see this, who's going to comment on it, who's going to criticize it. Do the thing. And you can do it behind closed doors until you've built up your confidence and have left that self-doubt and fear behind. But it's just taking that first step. Now, the Seven of Swords on the underside of the deck makes me feel like there is purpose and reason for you feeling this way. Maybe feeling blocked. It's almost like something happened to you in the past. You were dealing with somebody that wasn't very truthful, that wasn't very honorable, that didn't have a lot of integrity. And they may have taken something from you, taken advantage of you in some way. And so you're almost overly cautious because of that. I almost feel too that you might not have trust in yourself. And why is that? And how can you rebuild that trust in yourself this week? How can you let go of that lack of trust? Where did that come from? And this too, the Seven of Swords can also speak to strategy. So doing things in a way that's very tactful and very, what is that? What is it? Acronym? It's the SMART. Make your, make your goals or your rules SMART, meaning small, measurable, actionable, and I can't remember the other two. But maybe a new strategy or tactic needs to come into the mix to help you break yourself out of this. Stay away from gossipy people too, if there is gossipy people. But I almost wonder if you were just around the wrong people, or you have been around the wrong people. Maybe they have been instilling doubt in you. So that would be my first question for you this week is, is this deception or is this lack of trust, maybe the self-doubt, is it coming from other people? Is it coming within you? And if it's coming from within you, then is that from an experience? Is that coming from a past of somebody that said that to you or made you feel a certain way? Definitely something to explore this week. But I feel the way to get through this energy is to be really playful. And to face those fears and self-doubt and do it anyway. Almost getting curious about what would happen if I just rolled with an idea. And who cares if it's bad? Who cares if it looks or sounds awful? Because I'm not going to share it in this moment anyway. Again, it's in a very young kind of initial phases. So we don't want to be sharing something before it's complete until we're 100% proud of it. So it's working through it, maybe with a little bit of a strategy or a new way of seeing it, looking at it, approaching it. Let's get some oracle cards. But I'm getting childlike energy. I'm getting maybe inner child as well. Maybe your inner child needs to come out to play. So we have empathy. I think you need to have empathy for yourself. Have a little bit of compassion. I feel you're quite hard on yourself. So how can you find a little bit of empathy for your situation? Maybe it's hard to know something if you don't know something, if you've never experienced something, if you've never learned something, if you've never explored something. So let that be the goal this week, is to explore, get a little curious, and understand that you've done a lot of work up until this point. Maybe you've even had some successes and now you're on something new. You're on a new pathway. You're starting a new project. So naturally, you're not going to have everything figured out, which is why you need that childlike play and that empathy for yourself. To know that you can trust yourself, you can trust in your resilience, you can trust in what you have in terms of skill set, in terms of ideas. I think you're a very imaginative person. So just go easy on yourself is what I'm hearing. Be soft on yourself. Understand that it's okay to make mistakes. You don't have to be, everything doesn't have to be a masterpiece, and I don't think anything creative that anybody does, every single thing isn't a masterpiece. Even the professionals who are making billions of dollars a year, a lot of their stuff, isn't necessarily masterpieces. They don't hit the nail on the head every time. But they get it to a certain level that they're happy with it and they release it, and the rest is up to the audience, the universe. I want to recommend The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. I love that book. His advice, if you are a reader, then definitely check out his book. It is an audiobook as well, and he's got a ton of interviews talking about the details of the book on YouTube and stuff. So check it out. Oh, look at that. Yes. Because I feel he talks about that. Like, just because you haven't done something doesn't mean you'll never do it. So don't rule it out. And, you know, you have to just think of your creative exercises or your projects as diary entries. Those things can't really be criticized, because diary entries are just a snapshot in time of where you're at, where your skill set is at, where your head and heart is at. And so don't put so much pressure on it to be this magnificent thing. And that doesn't mean that it won't be. That just means to take the pressure off for it to be that in your mind. So I don't want to say setting the bar low, but releasing the expectations you have of yourself in this moment. And we have flow. And that just tells me creative flow. Like, the window is open, the air can blow through. This always makes me think of George Bailey. I'll throw a lasso around the moon. And to me, this also really feels like getting into a space of, where does that lack of pressure exist? I think of stillness and moments of nothing. Especially if you're stuck on ideas, changing up the environment can be really helpful, and not focusing on the thing that you're trying to create or squeeze out or force. That force is only going to manifest, you know, continuing to do that and to continue to force something. Whereas when we're in the flow, we're just letting things happen. We're letting things come to us in the moment. This might be tricky if we're on a deadline, but again, it might be counterintuitive, but stepping away for a moment to find moments of nothing, to find moments that detach us from our creativity, get us into a different environment. Why am I hearing a fairground? So again, I'm hearing kids laughing and music and, you know, the Ferris wheel and the roller coaster and kids screaming. I'm hearing a fairground. And that just taps into that childlike energy of, you're not necessarily doing something creative, you're having an experience. So have an experience that detaches you from pressure and just go with the flow, have fun, be in that moment, be present, or do nothing. Literally have a tea and stare at the four walls and see what happens. But this is definitely about breaking that creative block of coming back into trusting yourself, maybe switching things up with a new strategy, and going easy on yourself this week, because again, you're at the beginning stages of something new. I think it's pretty significant though. So we have to take it easy and not push for progress, but to flow with it, however it unfolds. So this is what I have for you, Soul Path 4. I hope you found some clarity and guidance for your week today. And with gratitude, I'm sending you my love, and we'll see you in your next reading.